Hello again, and welcome to the corner studio here in my garage. And I'm going to hold up the high-tech teleprompter as I often do and say the typical, it's time for another Friday evening camera talk. This is episode 67. I'm looking at the sheet here, and I got to tell you, we're mostly talking about lenses tonight. It's not going to be quite the variety show that I typically offer, kind of an abbreviated holiday version, I guess. We're basically talking about this lens right here, the 28-400, which I have introduced on the channel before, and it's still relatively new. I did a first impressions video of this with some sample clips, and it performed very well, but I said a real rigorous test is coming soon, and it's here. We're going to work on these lenses tonight. This is the short lenses. This is the workhorse lens, the 24-120. You guys on the channel know all about it. It is a wonder. That's a strong lens, and we're going to see how the 24-120 performs against the 28-400. These two lenses here, I'm going to turn them right side up and try to get it where you can see possibly the writing on them. This is also two of Nikon's S-line lenses. This is the 35-1.8, the 50-1.8, and this is an unfair test, but what I'm going to do is I want to see how the 28-400, which is basically a $1,300 all-purpose lens, I want to see how it compares to this 24-120 zoom lens and how it compares to these higher quality but prime lenses, and they're less expensive. The 50's even on a really deep discount sale right now, but I'm going to make the playing field as easy and level as I can for the 28-400. I'm going to actually bathe the studio in light so that these lenses here aren't just taking advantage of being able to shoot in lower light. So we're going to give the 28-400 as good a boost as we can here with our testing. I have these two lenses here out. This is the 105 MC lens, the macro lens, and this is the 100-400, and I'm not testing these two tonight because I can't seem to get out in good light to get these two tested, and I don't want to shoot these here in the studio because they need to be out in the field being used. So I stepped outside the corner studio and just pointed the camera at the sky. This is the kind of light that we've been dealing with lately. You can see what particularly the 100-400 performs when I'm out doing wildlife or landscape or whatever. So we're holding those back until we can get some sunny days, and it's been an absolute struggle here in the month of November and December to get days with good light. And I'm not even talking about a bright sunny day. I'm just saying a day where it's not completely clouded over or raining. And we've had our share of that in November and December, and I'm kind of ready to be through with it, even if it means that the colder weather will be moving in. But what we're going to do is move on to our lens testing, and I'm going to set up out here in the studio and just shoot these guys with various subjects, and I'll just do a vocal intro right before I set up the test. So I probably won't even be back in front of the camera again except to sign off for the program tonight. And I think we'll park our wildlife clips. I think I have a few on the computer. We'll park those right at the end of the program tonight, and there you have it. No housekeeping, no other miscellaneous topics. And I was going to do something on the new Wandered bag, and I haven't been out in the field to give that a proper test. So we're going to carry that over until I can actually get out and use that bag a little more, so I have something sensible to say about it instead of just holding it up and pretending that I know what its accomplishments are. So anyway, let's move on to our lens testing, and we'll see what we've got out of this 28-400. Okay, before I get started, I've spun the camera around, and we're looking at the Hobelite there. I've introduced it on the channel before, and I am becoming a real fan of this light. I'm going to use it for tonight's test. We do have our regular overhead studio lights, but I find this Hobelite and the little smaller one that I've showed you also on the channel. Just great for getting some extra light in right where I need it. And you see it's mounted on a tripod. I put the Arca plate on it, and I don't bother with light stands. I just put these guys right on a regular tripod, as you know. So anyhow, back to the testing. 24 to 120 at 28 millimeters. 28 to 400 at 28. 24 to 120 at 35 millimeters. 28 to 400 at 35. 24 to 120 at 50 millimeters. 28 to 400 at 50. 24 to 120 at 70 millimeters. 28 to 400 at 70. 35 millimeter f1.8. 28 to 400 at 35. 50 millimeter f1.8. 28 to 400 at 50. 24 to 120 at 50. 28 to 400 at 50. So we finished today's lens testing against the shorter lenses, the 35, the 50, and the 24 to 120. I think the 28 to 400 is starting to look like a real keeper as far as lenses go, and its true test in my mind has always been going up against the much more expensive 100 to 400. It costs a lot more and it weighs a lot more in your bag, and if this lens can keep up with that, well, we might have a real horse race going here. I also want to test it, as I mentioned earlier in the video, against the 105 MC lens, because this lens in my last test was looking really competent at 105. Want to thank everybody for joining us today. We sure hope to see you again soon in another video. So till then, take care.